Welcome back, everybody, to Dan Has Fun with more Bologna Baloney. It's been a while since I recorded the last episode of this, so did a little bit of checking up ahead of time, check what we were doing last episode, and turns out we're in a war, defensive war, with France, which is inconvenient. However, when we look at the alliance layout, France is pretty outgunned. So, what do we want out of this war? Well, we didn't initiate it, and we're not the direct receiving nation in terms of CB. So we're just going to keep an eye out on these two provinces, neither of which I can pronounce. So, we're going to go start sieging. So I guess that's Saluso when it's initially started in the game. But we're going to generally start sieging Provence. That's where we're going to start. And we're going to use our navy to sit in France's way. And or Provence's way, because Provence's navy is not very big. We've already beaten it once. France's is pretty big, but I imagine they're going to have to do a lot of duty over it here. Yeah, there's 18 French ships, for example. So I'm not overly worried about what they're going to do. Let's unpause and see how we get along. I did tweak the game settings a little bit. Hopefully it will be slightly smoother looking while you hear me talk. We will see. Advancement of the merchant classes, that's fine. And I guess at this point, who has the better sieging? They're both the same, but you have more cannons. So we'll get you to go over there, and you to come over here. We're just going to sit in these provinces. They just about have enough supply limit. So once we do siege it, we should not attrition too badly. That's the hope. Anyway, we shall see. But yes, we need to keep a very close eye out on the troop movement in this area of France. We are quite close to the French border, which not great on a normal day, but when you're at war with them is even worse, because the AI does tend to prioritize just whoever's closest to it. Hence, this part of Austria is getting sieged first. We have no way of preventing Picardy from being sieged out by Brittany at this point in time. So we're just going to look after our piece, but we do want to try and keep an eye out on where that French stack is going to go. In an ideal world, they'll leave me alone, but is that likely? Not really. However, the French can't climb over the Alps. So if they wanted this 35k stack to get me, they would have to go either around or through. And if they attack me here, even though it's in enemy territory for us, they would get the defense penalty because there's no fort there. And if they do intend to do it, are we the same tech level? We are. I'll just stop this siege and come over. So we want to watch for a padlock. Oh, there's another 5.8. There we go. So they are definitely going to move in. When you see that movement locked, it means they've gone more than halfway, so they will definitely come in. We're going to let that siege keep going for now and send another 13k that way. If need be, we'll send our remaining siege over there. I'd rather not have to do that, because when you leave a province, you've got to restart your siege. I am going to tell the AI to connect to me. What's my leader like over here? Very good, actually. 4431. The French do tend to have really great generals. This is no exception. It's even better than what I have, albeit his 6 is in fire and it's fairly early game, so not necessarily what you want to see. But this is going to be painful. Hopefully more for them than for us. We look at their war stats too. They have more tactics than us, so they're going to inflict more casualties. They have slightly more morale, but not by a huge amount. But they have a -2 penalty because they attacked us on the hill. And they crossed a river to do so. And because both generals have the same maneuver score, they get that penalty. I'm just hoping that everybody and their mothers are going to get involved here. And my leftover siege doesn't have a leader, so I'm going to say, all right, fine. And we're going to have them join as well. We can enact a government reform. It's a tier 7 one, so the guiding principle of administration. We can either go for a political principle, which just gives you more admin policies you can go for, or we can get the moral principle and go for Diplo. I almost always go for admin. We'll go over more when we can get one, because right now we only have military slots. And the one we have, fantastic as it is exactly what it says on the tin. You just siege better. So there's not much to explain there. Anyway, we're getting our butts kind of kicked here. Primarily because nobody on our side of the war has come to help us, which is super nice of them. So we're probably going to lose this, but we're keeping them all distracted. And the French have a lot of manpower. We also have quite a lot of manpower, but the more we can get them away from the war goal, the more the war will actually tick in our direction, which is what is so far happening. We have been annoying enough to dissuade them from continuing the siege up north. And for all intents and purposes, I might as well de-siege that. I may not put that in our fight here, but all that would happen, even if this stat loses, is they would come and just bop my siege. Well, nobody's coming to rescue us, so we're going to, at this point, bravely run away. We're going to go over to Treviso, ideally, so we have a bit of space to run to. Because you do acquire morale as you're retreating, very, very slowly. The province that we did siege there is just going to naturally de-siege itself, whether they're there or not, because there's an active fort next to it. So that was a little bit painful, and they are invariably going to come over here and start sieging us out now. But it's still fine. We can just sit our navy in this area and cause Provence extra pain. We could even move it over to the Gulf of Lion if we wanted to start causing issues for France, but we don't need to do that right now. Rather keep it in one clump in case somebody does ambush us, albeit they don't have a lot of naval capacity between France, Aachen, Brittany and Provence. Still, not worth it in my mind running the risk. Like I said, are going to slowly trudge our army together just to keep it protected. And then we'll likely split it in two rather than three. I just want to get them all together so we can get two relatively even armies. Like that. So we can go merge, split. One half's going to go over there. The other half is which leader's better in combat. This one. It is fantastic that we have a 5 siege leader, but he's not going to be very helpful for us right now. Austria and Poland are slowly starting to save, well, Austria's mainland. We can get a new tech, but neither of them are particularly important right now, and we're still ahead of time, so we don't need to do that yet. We'll do it at the start of next year. I don't really want them to sit here all this time, though. Having said that, if I attack them at Parma, they would still get the penalty because there's a fort. But I don't want to do that yet, so I'm going to have friendlies attached there. I want to see if I can get anybody to come over and help me before we start doing that. Is there a hill we can sit on where we won't get attritioned? There's a hill there, but it's only 37, so no. We're going to wait a little bit longer. Although I really don't want them to complete the siege of Parma. How far away is this? It's far enough away, I think, where we can go and do this now. And we will get another tick before this happens. What's our force limit look like? 1 below, so we're not going to hire any mercenaries. We are going to go and take on that stack before they complete that siege. And this one we should win. I don't think they're going to be able to reinforce in time. And there's Poland's stack too. Hooray! So they're 29,000 troop stack, which would have been super awesome to see last time, but I guess it's better sooner than later. We're going to go back and push them out of our territory. Where are they going, though? Because I don't want to get the combat penalty. Because if I attack them in there right now, that would be a -2, because Sluso is mountains, which makes sense. It's, you know, it's part of the Alps. So we're going to split them up again. We're going to take the biggest stack once we move over, like that. Cut them in half. Put the siege leader on a stack. And we're going to go try and get rid of Toulon. Albeit, I guess for now we'll just have everybody head that way. Because if we're going to end up at, contacting them in our own territory, we're going to get the -1 from the wood. But we outnumber them so incredibly massively, I don't think it's going to matter. Wasn't a stat wipe, though. Shows how good the French troops are. I guess I'll leave a stack. Are you the siege stack? Yep. So I don't want it to be you. I want it to be you. I'm going to sit there and have that de-siege, because I don't want it to increase devastation. While it is sieged by the enemy, its devastation goes up, which makes it pretty much worse at everything in every way. So, we can prevent that ticking up. We're going to. We don't want this all sat here, though. I don't want to get attrition that aggressively. Which stack is saying attached to me? The main one. Perfect. Alright. So we did shred a lot of manpower there. As you can see, we still need another 13,000 reinforcements to get back to max. It goes very, very quickly. But at least we do have allies in our corner now, to the degree where I'm not going to tell them to connect to me. I'm going to let them do their own thing, because I don't want them to sit en masse with me, because then we're all going to attrition each other. And that is no bueno. It'd be nicer if they could get over here and boop this provincial stack, but it's not happening yet. We did complete our siege of Toulon. It sieged really quickly, because it's only on a hill, so hills do slow the counter down, but not by a huge amount. But mostly because we have our navy sat here. So coastal provinces usually get a extra 2 bonus towards their defense on a siege. But if you are blockading it, they don't get that. Poland's going to sit on Saluzzo. I'd rather they not do that, because I'm sure they're not going to give that to me as a claim. But I guess we shouldn't be too greedy right now. Just going to move my troops around a little bit. And because the provincial navy was sat in Toulon, as soon as the siege ended, they got kicked out of the port and straight into my navy. So we will likely clean house. We might not necessarily stack wipe their navy, but they don't have very many places to flee to. We got a light ship out of it. Gonna take my 11 damaged ships and put them in Genoa. The other 34 can stay. Are you blockading Aix or Aix or like I said, sure I'm butchering it. We are. That's fine. Oh, Spain determined that we are their rival. Both flattering and terrifying in equal degree. I was just making sure that when you have a province like this, sometimes it can be hard to tell at a glance which sea, quadrant, province, whatever you want to call it, they are attached to. This is attached to the one that I was already in, so it's fine. And 34 fully healthy ships will be more than enough to deal with the 13 that they have there. Yep, and Naples is blockading us, which is very rude of them. Okay, so at this stage, I'm waiting for Saluzzo to get sieged out, because otherwise it's blocking movement and it looks ridiculous. But having said that, I'm still going to go and take the loop-de-loop route. They're all travelling separately. Ooh, there's 37 ships. I don't like the look of that. They've put all of their navy together. So I guess we'll have to take our remaining 11 just to bolster the numbers. On the flip side, if we are able to really do some damage to the French Navy, then we may not have to worry about them again for the entirety of the war. They have better naval stats than me. Oh, it is January. So we are going to get to the next level of diplomatic tech, which increases naval morale. Should have possibly done that beforehand, but what are you going to do? And we want to get level 12 admin as well. So we can build a building I almost never build. Should I? Probably, but I don't. We captured 2 more ships as well. So we have 1 more transport and another light trading vessel. I wonder where they're going to flee to, because it could be to Narbonne, and if they are, they're going to come out and say hi to me again. But just for now, I'm going to hide in Toulon and heal up. Given that we have sieged it out, we can do that. At least some of them went over there. Looks like the vast majority did. So we will go over there in a moment. We've got 1 French ship trying to blockade us, which is adorable. Have yet to see any French troops get in the way of my stack wandering around to the east side of the French. Yeah, there's a French stack. I'd love to get over here, but I can't because Paris, as the fort, will block me. And Provence also has I was going to say properties. Provinces over there. We're not playing Monopoly. Once this stack comes over here, we'll move the rest so we don't attrition quite as badly, because that is the siegey stack. I'm actually going to move the big stack over to this forested Bourbonnais province. Hopefully I'm not overstretching. Just in case I am, I'm tempted just to leave these 2 stacks together. Yeah, there's going to be more attrition, but at the same time, if I get attacked, I'm not going to just get bopped immediately. What's this navy looking like for health? Pretty good. So I'll just leave our 3 damaged ships in port, and the other 44 can sit there and help the Polish with that siege. Interesting that the siege flipped to Landshut. Poland just was like, nah, I'm bored of this, and left. They can't even say that they left for attrition reasons or manpower, because they just went to another siege anyway. Yeah, it's weird sometimes. Does weird things I don't understand. That was a quick siege, though. That's what happens when you have a 5 siege leader. Yes, we'll go over and start sieging Auvergne, although we do have to pay attention because there's 34 French troops there. I wonder if they're going to be more annoyed by me or more annoyed by... You would think they'd come over here, given Paris is their capital, but... Yeah, and the AI does weird things. They did complete that siege, which means their navy's going to come and say hello to mine. Oh, the war goal did get taken out, though. Picardy is being controlled by France right now. Unfortunate, but probably inevitable. At least these level 2 forts inland are just getting piled through. It's like defending cannons with, wet straw. And they are likely to have fled all the way around here, so that is not my problem. I've protected the Mediterranean. We've done what we need to do. How much in terms of... Okay, we need... That's already a claim. That's already a claim. Oh, I can't reach that one. Is there anything Spanish I can claim? I don't think so. I'm still going to keep my spy in there, though. Nowhere else it needs to be at the moment. Bourbonnais has been sieged out. I'm going to head towards Paris in case we can help the Hungarians and just not get immediately bopped, because if that 35k French stack went their way, which it is now, that is doomed. Architectural development. Do we want to spend some money for points? You better believe we do. We are too much money that we know what to do with. I don't think we're going to get there in time. No, sorry, Hungarian stack. You didn't get wiped, which is pretty impressive, but that's about all I can say. I don't want to attack them, though. I'm going to let them leave. If they want to come back and attack me, I'd rather they don't, but it would at least be closer. Golden era for Strasbourg. We've got the Siege of Auvergne completed. And And what we're going to do this time is sit close to our main stack in Paris in case they have to reinforce. The siege of Saluzzo is still going on, with no sign of abating. I know it's going to cause some major attrition, but the slow stack with the great siege leader should go into Paris. So that's what he's going to do. I'm curious, does Picardy have... It does, so it thinks it's got Valois as a core that it doesn't own, and it has claims over another French province. Interesting. There's the big French stack. Where's it going? Nowhere fast at the moment. This attrition is pain, but at least it's safety pain. Most of that is healed, but I have nowhere to take it right now, so that's fine. My navy has done everything it needs to do. And more, honestly. It's kicked butt and taken names. This episode might as well just be, let's watch what the French do. That's about it. Kind of the Trachenberg plan, you know, back in the Napoleonic era. Just be, avoid like the plague, smack everything else that's not him. Alrighty, Paris, sieged out. They're going to Nurvenay. Depending where they want to go after that, I may just be able to catch them. They're going to Berry. I'm going to intercept them there. Yes, it's going to cost us some losses. However, we're not going to get a crossing penalty. So we're going to attack them with no penalty. And we outnumber them 2-1. So it's going to be about as good an opportunity as I'm going to get to slow them down so we don't have to worry about them. Yeah, even with their great war stats, they took about twice as many losses as I did. So, Mr. Good Siege, you're going to go to Chartres. Big stack, you're just going to sit next to them. And small remaining stack is going to sit in place. Who else is in this war? Aachen, Brittany, and obviously Provence. I'm going to go siege Provence out after we deal with a couple more locations in France. We just want to siege the east side of France out. Partly so that we're getting war score, so when things get carved up at the end, the AI is likely to be more generous to us. But also because I don't want them spawning maybe abandoned mercenaries right in my face, preferably. There we go. Okay, we're going to go deal with Provence then. Oh, they were going to move to the same tile that I was going to, but they decided against it. They were right to not do the thing they were thinking about doing. Just for sake of less attrition, let's move you over there. Actually, we should be able to start besieging Picardy, right? Because there's no other forts in the way. So that is what we're going to do. And our 30k stack is going to sit roughly in the middle of these two sieges, so that I can move it over depending what the French do. Because I don't know where their big stack is right now. I don't see it, so it's in fog. There it is. Okay, so that means head the big stack towards Verdun. I'm going to sit next to it and see what they do. I'm hoping they don't come over and bop the siege at Saluzzo, so somebody else has to start again. It's mildly funny, but a little bit annoying. Do you think that we would be able to come over here and not get attrition to death? It could be potentially useful to park my navy there, but I really don't want to, though. If it gets caught out, then it's miles away from where I need it to be. Okay, the French stack's coming down south, so I can safely go over to Valois and start sieging it out. Oh, thanks for leaving that siege. Okay, I'll go back and siege that myself. Do you want to do you want something done properly? You apparently have to do it by yourself. If they come up to Lorraine, I'm going to start moving this stack over again. Because I would get a -1 penalty if they attacked me, because I'm sieging them out in the woods. Oh, we can spend some of our splendor. We can turn our sugar packet into fun. What do we want? We don't care about the edict. Blockade impact on siege would be pretty helpful for us. Mercenary discipline, no. Institution spread in true faith provinces. I think that, yeah, that's the one to go with. That is always going to be good. Getting a slight bonus on siege ticks is good too, but it's not really all that well timed. Oh, apparently there are rebels, peasants in Provence, which Poland are going to bop for me, which is nice of them. I guess we'll send our big stack down and start sieging Saluzzo, because apparently nobody is capable of sieging that. So we'll go down there, and then we can send our good siege stack down there as well, and then just flip them out. And if we can bop the French stack at the same time, that would be awesome. If not, I don't mind. It's going to take them at least a full tick to get to me. Oh, Provence got pieced out at a really inconvenient time. Because we didn't get anything other than money. But we don't need money. We don't have any claims over France, do we? Nope. So, at this point, we're just going to take our ball home. I don't want to get into the French stack. I'm just going to take all of my units home. We're going to finish besieging Picardy. But at that point, I'm just going to take all of my troops home. Yep, we've done everything we need to do at this point. We're getting nothing out of this. So we've done what we morally should have done. And we're out. I wish they'd broken Provence's alliance with France. That would have been nice, but the AI doesn't tend to grant you miracles. I guess we can, at this point, if they're no longer our rivals, revoke the embargo, because it just costs us money to block their money. And I'd just rather have money. Coalition? That's pretty rude. Oh yeah, there's some pretty mad folks. Including Spain. I forgot about that. It's a pretty big thing to forget about. But yeah, there's a coalition against us. Probably an even better idea then, that we're saving our troops. We want to take this stack. Do we have any major unrest? A tiny amount in Venice, but it's negligible. It's pretty cool that we have a level 2 Doge's Palace, though. I mean, that Republican tradition growth every year, really helpful. Really helpful. We can turn the speed up to speed 4, I would say now. They don't need our help. Although it looks like they're having a really hard time finishing France off. I hope I don't have to get my stack back involved, but I might have to, because Hungary, Poland, and Austria are all pooping the bed here. Switzerland has become a bishopric. Good for them. We can't attack Milan because of the stupid coalition. Oh yeah, that's fine. They want to slowly start desieging what we have, I don't care. Oh, Siena's claim has expired. That's what we can use spying for Spain on, so we can renew that. Yeah, I think without me, France will actually start winning the battle again. Ugh, dear, dear, dear. But at this point, it's a 59% positive war score against France. I'm not worried about it. If it was mercenaries I could just throw at them, it would be interesting, but I'm pretty low on manpower now, so I don't want to burn it. there anybody around me who I can attack without them triggering the coalition? Oh, the papacy just joined the coalition too. Rude. Not unexpected, but rude. I mean, they hate us. Oh, our parliament has passed. We got 10 Republican tradition. I wonder if that was just an election where we really didn't care about the results, because I didn't even remember we had a parliament in session. Completely forgot. Come on, France has low war enthusiasm. Why is this war still going on? And despite the fact that I sat on my bum for the second half of this war, I'm still at 31% war contribution. Only Austria has more. Austria has more troops than me anyway. And has far more to lose if France was to win. Honestly, we're so safe at this point, I'm almost tempted to just start doing army drill. We are way over our naval force limit. I think we're pretty safe to put this back to trading, though. So we are going to tech trade in Alexandria trade node. Everything else can just go back to Lucca for now. Really don't need to save any money, so we're not going to mothball them just in case France brings its naval stack over. You never know. They're slowly starting to get a handle over France again. But that may just be because the French stack isn't over there anymore. Where even is it? Social reforms. Do we want to lose 5 Republican tradition for our production? Well, you better believe we do. Yeah, I have no idea where the French stack is. Those borders with Poland and Lithuania are incredibly weird. It's also, it is terrifying that Russia's this big. I am worried for the future. But I'm not worried right now. There's the French stack. It's back in Picardy. And we just got pillaged by pirates in Tunis. Rude, but not worth dealing with. Long term, though, we could definitely expand down here. That is a possibility. Scientific instruments. We get influence. Oh, no, influence, innovativeness. Another word beginning with I. That's the right one. Yeah, we'll take that for free. I mean, I guess we got influence too, but that doesn't mean anything in this game. It's not Stellaris. Are we going to have to go over there and fix that, do you think? Just in case, I'll start running my army that way. I'm hoping we don't need to, but I feel like the AI is doing such a bad job of finishing off France that we might have to. Because if they take Picardy, it's going to reset the war score count all over again. But I don't think I'm going to have enough army over there to deal with that until they get at least one more tick at 35%. Unless, no, actually, no, we should go now because I think Austria will get involved. Yeah, they will. So our stack here is going to take a hammering, but it's fine. There we go. Okay. Now, do we think they've got France handled? I don't care, I'm going back. If they don't, I don't care. Oh, Spain left the coalition against us, finally. Oh, so did Montferrat. They really matter about hugely. So who's left? Really nobody of any substance. Yeah, only the Papal States would be mildly annoying. Or, you know, one province, Venice, or that's terrifying. Oh, even they've left too. Yeah, everybody's leaving the coalition, probably because my army is so strong that they're terrified that now that Spain has gone, If anybody else was to attack me, they're just going to get wrecked. Finally, it looks like they might be able to deal with France. Albeit they have put all of their units together in one enormous stack. Our spy is rubbish. He just keeps getting caught over and over again, doesn't he? We've got no claims to be able to take. Do we have any maps we can steal off them? We can have one province of Anatolia spied for us. Amazing. I don't care about any of the maps that they have. We're just going to slander the merchant and give them less money. Because we're rude. And we do need, to reform Italy, we do need to stomp on Milan. Because we need Milano. We also need Florence's, well, I think he gets it now, Tuscany's solo province. We also need Rome. That will almost certainly be last. Well, we're getting a long episode this time around because France just does not want to quit. We'll end the episode once France has just given up. England's declared on Scotland. Is Scotland allied to anybody? No, it's not. I bet it was probably allied with France before, but France now won't join. So England's going to scoop up a free Scotland. Venice will allow our merchants. Oh, I'm so grateful. Oh, I should split this up. I don't want to attrition for no reason. Didn't even realise my stack had got back yet. That was my fault. There we go. And finally, France has peaced out. Well, everybody's peaced out. We lost our whole one ship, apparently. But yeah, painful. Painful losses each side. They lost 33 ships between them. But the attrition's the main pain when you're offensive in a war. Because even though we were the defending side, we were the attacking nation most of the time. Lost nearly as many troops from attrition as we did from combat, which is pretty wild. Anyway. France is going to have to give up several provinces to Picardy. Release Toulouse. Lots of money, which I'm going to get about a third of, give or take. And Austria gave us 28 favours. We're probably close. Yeah, we are at the cap. We might as well use them for something. I'm going to ask if we can. I would like some soldiers off you. Thank you. That'll help with our manpower. We'll take 2,700 soldiers. So yes, France now only has one province on the English Channel Sea Zone. Picardy may even... Yeah, I was going to say, they would probably ally us too. That's a dangerous alliance to make, though. Because England, yeah, will no doubt want some of that territory. Because they always want Normandy back. So we're not going to ally them. But having a strong buffer state there, I am very happy with. Anything that will slow France down, I'm typically okay with. The only thing I'm a little worried about is if France gets beaten up too much, then Spain and Austria can start carving it apart like Christmas turkey. And we don't really want that to happen, because then Austria's going to take a load of land that we want, and Spain may get too big for us to take out independently. Independent Toulouse, too. It's actually quite a big location. We don't have a claim on them. They're just too far away. A shame, because if we did, it would only drag Picardy in. Oh well, we'll have to assess what our options are next time around. At least we have options, though. We no longer have to deal with the fact that everybody and our mothers are in a coalition against us. And Spain only has a -10 penalty against us for aggressive expansion, so we can probably go fairly ham next episode. We'll have to be a little careful because our manpower is butt. However, speaking of butt, we'll see what we do next time around. So, appreciate you watching the video. If you did like it, give it the old like and comment. Subscribe if you want to see more. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care now. Thank you for watching the video, and if you'd like to see more, feel free to stick around.